Welcome everybody to the daily recap show where we talk about stocks and the financial markets. My name is Chase. If you like this video, please subscribe, hit that notification bell as well as the like button and leave a comment for the algorithm. Let's get into it. This is the daily heat map of the S&P 500 and US stocks edged higher on Wednesday as Wall Street digested President Trump's State of the Union address and braced for Nvidia's crucial earnings report. Tech was up in a very big way today. You can see here very strong across the board. Mega caps leading the way. Financials also participated. These were some of the two best sectors. Software, as you can see, very positive as well. Google was flat. Same with Berkshire Hathaway right here, but Meta gained. Netflix is up 6%. We'll talk about why. Tesla, Amazon gained, Apple gained, Microsoft and infrastructure were some of the best performers along with semiconductors. Nvidia rallying 2.2% into its earnings. AMD was down 1%, but software very strong. The rest of the market, as you can see, didn't fare too well, but it wasn't like a brutal sell-off. It was more just a rotation from what has been working to what hasn't been working. And in my opinion, if the S&P 500 is going to break out of the range it's been stuck in for the better part of the last, I would say, 4 months or so, this price action is a step in the right direction. You want to see tech, which is a huge part of the S&P 500, leading the way. It's exactly what we're seeing. Both the software components and the infrastructure semiconductor components, both of them were up in excess of 2%. IGV up 2.99%, followed by financials. These are the three biggest sectors in the S&P 500, and the S&P 500 was up 0.84% today. We saw gold was up there as well, along with the RTY up half a percentage point. However, many sectors did actually fall today. Look at staples, real estate, industrials, energy, materials, financials. They were all in the red. So about half the sectors in the S&P 500 lost today, but the ones that actually do matter, stuff like the XLY, the XLC, tech, right? They were in the green today, and that's why you saw in aggregate, the market was up in a very big day. Today really was a day for mega caps, large cap growth, and just growth as a whole outperformed, but particularly large cap growth. We saw mid cap core and just large caps as a whole just outperform. Again, it was a rotation into larger size from smaller size, from mid caps into large caps, from small caps into mid caps as well. And this comes off, well, not really much, right? The big thing was Anthropic. They came out and hosted an event yesterday about enterprise agents, and pretty much Anthropic saying they're going to allow their embedded plugins to be embedded into stuff like Google, WordPress, DocuSign, and the market really likes this. They're viewing it more as a partnership than AI displacement, and that's been really good for tech as a whole. The market's sort of re-rating, saying, hey, maybe this isn't the be-all and end-all for tech and software. Maybe there's going to be a collaboration, a partnership for some of these AI at-risk themes that we've seen over the last couple of months. And the market really liking this. And we saw a rally yesterday. We saw continuation of that rally today. And something else that's helping the tech space is this right here. Tech giants Microsoft, Amazon, Google, Meta, XAI, Oracle, OpenAI, Anthropic have all agreed to collectively sign Trump's mandate requiring them to build independent electrical supply for AI data centers. Now, this is actually really good. You might think, okay, they're going to spend more capex building out these electrical components. But number one, they've already budgeted for that, these big companies. Number two, this is really good because the big hurdle for these AI data centers, right, was actually regulations saying, hey, no, you're not going to use our power, you're not going to use our water, so we're not going to approve your data center. If they're going to agree to do it themselves, the approval process is going to go a lot quicker, and that is why these tech giants, that's why these tech stocks, these software stocks, these AI data center stocks were absolutely rallying on the back of all of this. Now, we also saw some big market movers here today. Netflix was up 6.23% after Warner Brothers Discovery's board of directors said that Paramount Skydance revised proposal for its assets, right, may be the superior proposal, reigniting a bidding war that has stretched for months. Of the market saying, hey, this isn't a one-way Netflix show. Netflix could lose. Let's re-rate them higher. Now, Paramount has offered to buy Warner Brothers entirely in cash for $31 per share, most recently sweetening its deal by offering a 25 cents daily ticking fee per quarter if the deal does not close by September 30, and offering to pay termination fees if regulators stop the deal from closing. In December, Netflix agreed to buy Warner Brothers Discovery streaming and studio assets for $27.75 per share in a deal valued at $72 billion. But the deal may no longer be the front runner, providing some relief for investors, and that's why we're seeing the stock move up. So there's going to be a bidding war. Netflix is going to come in with a bigger bid. Well, actually, we'll see. We don't know that for sure, but we do know factually that a bidding war is officially in place. Circle Internet Group was up 32%, massive rally after reporting an increase in fourth quarter revenue as its income from reserves got a boost from a rise in circulation of its stablecoin USDC. Circulation of USDC rose 72% from a year earlier to 75.3 billion in the fourth quarter, lifting total revenue reserves to 733 million. Good for this. Just really goes to show that crypto adoption is still there, and I think this is going to provide a really good lift for the crypto market in aggregate. And then Axon Enterprises up 20% year to date after reporting earnings per share of $2.15, exceeding the estimates of $1.60. Revenue for the quarter was 796 million versus the estimates of 755. Annual bookings grew to 7.4 billion, an increase of 46% year on year. Axon said in its earnings report, beating the expectation. So we saw a double beat, a raise, and with the stock being down 50%, you're going to see a pop like this. All these software names looking really good right now, especially yesterday and today. And then for everything we saw today here, guys, there was 3,700 advances, 2,400 decliners. We saw outflows in the Nasdaq and the New York Stock Exchange. But if you actually measure the gap up, right, massive inflows in the market. The S&P 500 gaining 0.87%. Now we've retaken the 5-day moving average, and this is how it starts. We retake the 5, then we retake the 20, and once we retake the 20, everything is looking a-okay. And that's the thing, right? We've seen a lot of wobbling here in the shorter term averages, but the longer term averages have remained robust and ultimately telling us that at an index level, you ultimately just want to be buying the index and buying any dips. And had you been done that, you'd be sitting really good in the market right now. Let's hop on the chart. Now, another green day. So you can see right here, we had a green day yesterday in the S&P 500, another gap up and go. We're trading at the highs of the day. The S&P 500 up 0.85%, the Nasdaq leading, the Russell 2000 up 0.62%, flat in the RSP, right? But mid cap, small caps gaining there. Really just a large cap story, but green through and through it. And yeah, really positive stuff here in the market so far today. Same in Europe. European stocks are up, Israeli stocks are up, Asia stocks are slightly down. Look at crypto, guys, roaring. Ethereum up 11%, Bitcoin up 8%. Now this has to do with a couple of things. One of those things is Jane Street. Now Jane Street got caught massively manipulating the crypto market and being the cause of the Terra Luna collapse. Jane Street insiders leaked that they were forced to shut down the algos, right? And as a result, crypto was up 10%. What also helped was Circle Internet's group's earnings, right? So it really was Jane Street that was manipulating the market. And I think now that this manipulation is stopped, there's going to be lawsuits as it pertains to all of this. I think we're going to see crypto rally on the back of everything here. And this, in my personal opinion, is just ultimately the beginning here for the crypto space. I think we're going to go significantly higher, in my honest opinion. This is what a bottom looks like, a massive bounce, right? Okay, see a bit of a pullback, hold support, and then onward and upward from there. Volatility ticked down. The volatility index, the VIX sitting at 18. The 2-year and 10-year yield actually fell 0.23 and 3.2% respectively. The dollar down significantly. Look at that, guys. The dollar falling. Crazy. TLT was flat. Gold and silver rallying today, so they still continue to be somewhat of risk-on assets, especially with some of the uncertainty that's happening on the geopolitical side, and the crude and nat gas were virtually unchanged. And this is what I was speaking about before, guys. If you look at the S&P 500, right, we've been inside this kind of like trading range, as you can see here, for the better part of 4, maybe 5 months. If we're going to break out of this trading range, we're going to have to see tech participate. One of the tech names is IGV. This is a basket of software stocks. You can see that we've had a bit of a low right here, but we were up 1.91% yesterday. We're up about 3% here today. The IGV just under 3%. We want to see tech participate. We also want to see Nvidia's earnings after the bell. Now I'm not going to cover in this video because, you know, I have a job to get to, but we want to see Nvidia's earnings. We want to see Nvidia participate in the way it's participating right now. We want to see some of the mega caps participating. For example, this is the Round Hill Magnificent 7 ETF. Yeah, it's been brutal, but you can see it's participating right now. This is ultimately what you want to see. You want to see tech participating. You want to see semiconductors participating. You want to see infrastructure participating. This is the only way the S&P 500, which is 30% of technology, this is the only way we actually get the S&P 500 to break out above these levels right here. Look, the RSP, the equal weight S&P 500 can do only so much for the market. At some point, tech has to participate. The Magnificent 7 have to participate because they're so big. And the fact that we're seeing that right now is really good. The fact that we're also seeing this risk-on sentiment here in crypto, also a really good sign as it pertains to the software trade. Really good stuff. Now, guys, I think there's still a lot of really good names that you can get in the software space. If you really want to sort of like look at this as potentially a bottom, Reddit is one of them. Now, Reddit absolutely up 5% here today. It does look like we're forming a bottom. We're still in the buy zone. This right line here is the buy zone, right? And I've been saying this for a while. You want to sell a cash secured put to potentially get your cost basis at around this 102, 105 level, somewhere right there. Maybe sell the 120 cash secured put, collect $10. You can have an average cost basis of $110. That's ultimately where you want. Sort of like right here. That's ultimately where you want, because I think that's going to be the low for Reddit. I really like Reddit. Out of all software names, I like this one the most. I also do like Cypher, ticker symbol Cypher Mining. They reported their earnings yesterday. The stock was up 12% on the back of their earnings, giving some back today. Very resilient. I think this goes higher. I like all of these names right now. For example, a lot of people are into NBIS. It's a more diversified play, up 4% here today, participating. Really, really good stuff. If you can go ahead, break above this level right here, onward and upward, you can maybe target some of these highs we saw in the early part of October and November, somewhere around there. I also do like EOSE, absolutely rallying here in the last couple of days, down 1.6% today, but it was up 10% yesterday, right? I think we're putting in a bottom right here. I think we'll probably go ahead and visit those highs for sure, especially as it pertains to energy trade and the AI trade. This is one way to play that. And then I also do like Lemonade Insurance. I think here is a steal. I think you want to get into this name right here. We were at $100 not too long ago. The low right now is at $48. I think this is ultimately where you want to be step into Lemonade. There's so much information on Lemonade on YouTube in terms of what they do. Go watch their Investor Day. You'll think this is a steal after watching that video. It's absolutely crazy. I do like Lemonade. And I think ultimately this is a stock that's going to perpetually grow until 2032 at about 30% until they 10x their books. That is what management are guiding for. 30% growth until they 10x their book. And that's IFP, in-force premium. They do about $1 billion right now. They're looking to do about $10 billion by 2033. And that's about a 30% growth rate. I think this is a steal right there. I'd be a buyer right here of Lemonade stock, and I am a buyer right here of Lemonade stock. Let's look at some of our other risk parameters, not the RTY. We're going to look at Bitcoin. Roaring, guys, absolutely roaring. With Bitcoin, if we can break, above this level right here, continue right there, we can then start opening up some of these key levels up to the 100,000 mark. I think this is a great place, and this is a great signal to go ahead and accumulate Bitcoin. Looking at Ethereum, it looks like it's breaking above. I like what I'm seeing right now in the crypto space. I think we're going to go higher. I think this is the start right here. I think this is the start of something like this. And you can see it much more clearly on the weekly chart, right? If we just zoom in, look at what Ethereum did from these lows really, really quickly. In just, you're talking 10, maybe to 15 weeks, Ethereum just rocketed up all the way up. Now it's come down, the next move higher, and I think we're going to break these highs and go significantly higher from here. So I like Bitcoin, I like Ethereum. If you want to play the asset treasury companies, go ahead, do that. Either way, the market is certainly signaling risk on right now. Looking at gold, I like gold. You guys know this. I like gold. Gold is probably going to pull back here, but as long as we hold, these lows right here, put in a higher low, I think onward and upward, and we're going to go for those all-time highs, in my personal opinion. Looking at silver, very similar situation, right? A key level right here. We could break above that, onward and upward. We can even go target those 120 highs for silver. That would not be crazy at all. I still think there's a lot of room left to run in the metals trade. I think this is having a 3 to 5% allocation in gold and silver, as well as crypto. Keep it at a small, guys, 3 to 5% allocation. I think it's great counter-cyclical assets to have in your portfolio. But all in all, I should sense for a while now, stocks look good, small caps look good, equal weight looks good, large caps looking like they might actually break out of this range. If that is the case, all you got to do is hold, and we should see stellar market returns to come. Now, guys, diving into sentiment, this is the fear and greed index, and we were just in fear yesterday, pushing into the neutral zone as market momentum has come back into the market. And guys, there is still fuel for the upside. We know that the software trade can really power this market, as well as the tech trade. And if that is the case, we could push into greed, further into greed, into extreme greed, especially as we go into March. We do know factually that the first half of March is one of the best 2-week periods in the year, bar none. And I think sentiment right now is at a great place for us to continue moving higher in the market, especially when we look at market returns. Now, for the fourth quarter, 2025 earnings are expected to be 13.9% against the 8% expectation coming into these earnings. Revenue growth is expected to come in at 8.8% against the 7% expectation. 72% of companies roughly beating the earnings and revenue expectations here in the S&P 500. And if you actually exclude energy, things are looking really, really good. So guys, earnings are good. Sentiment is in the gutter, especially when it comes to tech stocks. This is the type of setup you like, especially when you look at the fundamental side. Fundamentals look better than ever. Buy. Now, looking at the macro, we don't have too many macro charts because I really have to get to work, guys. But right now, we got the new Atlanta Fed GDP now estimate. We're looking at about 3% here. This is for Q1. So we'll see how this tracks. But right now, it's still looking at very, very robust growth. The blue chip consensus is a little bit lower, but we'll see how that pans out. Now, guys, looking at data for the rest of the week, tomorrow, it's just initial jobless claims. That's about it in terms of earnings. We had EOSC, you know, I'm big on the stock. Celsius Holdings, QBTS, VST, Vistra, Rocket Lab, SoundHound, Dell, CoreWeave all reporting. CoreWeave is going to be a big one. Dell's going to be a big one. EOSC is going to be a big one. Duolingo is going to be a big one, guys. So a lot of big names reporting, especially in the software space. We'll see how everything goes. And if you've made it up until here, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please subscribe, hit the notification bell as well as the like button, and leave a comment for the algorithm. Cheers.